Hi and welcome to the Belfry. This is the 18th hole on the stunning Brabazon golf course. My name is Chris Ryan, and in this video we're looking at the driver, and we're going to look at why some of you golfers out there may well hit shots which curve both to the left and to the right. And we've got a really simple exercise that you can do which might give you some reasons as to why that happens. Just before we go into exactly what I want you to do, in the corner of the screen you should have the details for my social media accounts. That's Facebook, that's Twitter, and that's Instagram. If you don't already, please go ahead and follow me on all those. So we're talking more in this video on the driver, and as I said, we're looking at those golfers who struggle because they curve the ball to the left and to the right. Now that makes it very, very difficult to play golf because you can't allow for that shot. If you have one miss, maybe your ball curves to the right, at least on the golf course you can maybe aim at the left, allow that to happen, and it's quite functional. When it goes both ways, it's incredibly difficult and it's hard to commit to the driver. Now, the ball flight laws are the laws that govern how the ball curves through the air. And for us as coaches, when we see a ball flight, that gives us a lot of information about what is actually happening at impact. What we would also know is that certain swing styles will produce certain shots, and we can kind of group those shots into sort of categories. So we would know that if you said to us that you tended to hit a push shot, we would also know that you can probably also hit draw shots, you can also hit hook shots. So we get sort of groups of shots, if that makes sense. When we hear a golfer say that the ball curves to the left and to the right, that kind of sends a few alarm bells ringing, because we know that doesn't really come from the same delivery. Now, what we're going to get you to is quite a simple exercise. Down on the floor, I have got some foot spray. Now this is fantastic, you can pick this up in most supermarkets. As long as it's the powder form, it is absolutely perfect. And what we're going to get you to do is, we're just going to get you to spray the face of your driver. And what this will actually do, it'll just put a little coat of powder, and then we're going to get you to hit a couple of shots. Now what you will find is that when the golf ball hits the club face, you will get a mark, and it will tell you exactly where that ball has hit on the club face. So let me just go ahead and hit this drive. So this is the 18th on the Brab, quite a tricky tee shot, does require a little bit of a right to left shot. So let's see if we can go ahead and hit this. Okay, pretty good drive, that felt pretty good. And you can see how the marking here has come. It's a little bit towards the heel and possibly a fraction low in the club face. So why is this information going to be useful to you? Well, if we are curving the ball both left to right and right to left, that would suggest to us that you are missing the middle. What we have with the driver is what we call gear effect, which is how the golf club twists relative to where the golf ball is hitting on the club face. Now, if you had a golf swing where your club was travelling at what we would class as zero, so it's travelling straight at your target, and when you hit the golf ball, the club face was also pointing at your target, that was a zero as well, that would give you a dead straight ball flight. But that would only give you a straight ball flight if your ball is hit from the centre of the driver. If you had those same exact delivery numbers, but you hit the ball from the inside of the golf club, so towards the heel, that golf ball would start left and it would curve off to the right. How much would depend on how far towards the hill you hit it. If those same delivery numbers, but the ball was hit more towards the toe of the golf club, that golf ball would start more to the right of the target and curve towards the left. And again, how much it curves would depend on how far towards the toe it was hit. So I can actually hit 3 different shots. I can hit a straight shot, a slice if you like, or a hook with exactly the same delivery numbers, and with a club face which was at the point well, just prior to contact, pointing straight. Because when the golf ball is hit on the club face, there will be some deflection, there will be some gearing, and that will cause the ball to curve. So I theoretically could hit 3 shots, 1 in the fairway, 1 misses left, 1 misses right. I could have all 3 swings on camera. I could have the exact same look in terms of my delivery. I could have exactly the same path. But where I hit that ball in the face makes a huge difference to where that ball finishes. So this little exercise is fantastic if you feel that you are maybe hitting some shots to the left and to the right and you can't really get your head around that, you can't understand why. That would suggest to us that it's a strike issue. And if it's a strike issue, that's really where we need to start, as opposed to trying to change the golf swing, change the impact, all those kind of things. You can see here that ball was hit slightly off the heel. Now that ball went pretty straight. I know that my general golf swing produces a right to left curve. because that ball was hit out the heel, that kind of neutralised that a little bit, and that actually flew pretty straight. So for me, a heel strike actually gives me some relatively straight ball flights because my swing is geared more towards a right to left shot. So what I want you to do is use that foot spray and hit a couple of drives, hit maybe 3 or 4, and see what your pattern is. If you are a random striker, as I call it, where it's a little bit heel, a little bit toe, a little bit bottom, a little bit top, that's why you're getting those ball flights. This little exercise is fantastic for just giving you some awareness. And often what we'll find is just by giving the golfer some awareness, we can start to improve that strike pattern. It's not a bad idea to hit a shot and then think to yourself, where did that ball come off the club face before you look, and see how close you were. Really interesting exercise, and I get a lot of golfers do it, and it's really quite good for their development and their skill level. They can start to understand what the feels are relative to the strike. So what can you do if you are missing the middle? Well, even this exercise on its own would be great because it actually gets you to focus on strike. Not enough golfers are out there actually just working on striking the ball out the middle of the club. They're maybe not aware of what their strike pattern is, and therefore they don't really realise they need to work on it. Use this foot spray in practice, spray it on the club, and I guarantee you just a few practice sessions, a little bit more awareness, and maybe a little bit more concentration or focus on actually hitting the middle of the golf club, and you'll start to hit the middle more. You'll start to get a more predictable ball flight, and if it's more predictable, you can actually play with that. You can allow for it if it's not straight, but you're definitely going to hit more fairways if you can hit the middle of the golf club. The added bonus to this, it will probably go a little bit further as well if you do hit the middle as opposed to the toe of the heel. So great little exercise, some foot spray on your driver. Strike is king. Strike will override your path, your club face, so we need to make that strike close to the centre. If not the centre, that's definitely going to help you hit some more fairways. So I hope that's helpful to you. Something you can take practically to the driving range or the practice area next time you go. Foot spray, driver, that's all you need. And hopefully you'll hit a few more fairways. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully that's helpful to you. If it is, please click the like button down below. Leave any comments in the box. I'll do my best to respond to as many as I can. And last thing, if you don't already, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. There is a link down below in the description box, which will allow you to do just that. Loads more videos on my channel, loads more being uploaded weekly. And clicking that link just means you won't miss any of that new content. Thank you again, and hopefully we'll see you back here again soon.